Oh, coming through.
Oh, because it was on YouTube.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I can hear it.
there you go. All gone. All gone.
That's funny.
It's almost like I've never used. I couldn't figure out why the sound was all wonky that time. It was me. Much like how we went through that intro first with, and then halfway through, I'm like, there's no viewers. And I'm like, oh, let it go live.
That's funny.
It's hard being an old guy. It is hard. Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter.
Yes, yes.
How goes it?
Easter weekend been so far?
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had supper at Mikey Jew's, all the fam there, and
What did you have?
had his just had there was a bunch of stuff. Someone made like macaroni and cheese. It was just like carrots, like green beans, mashed potatoes, like tea biscuits. What else? Just like different kinds of vegetables and
so far there's been no
ham.
Oh, there we go. Now there's meat.
Yeah.
Go to get your good juice. There's vegetables.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Brady had his first boxing fight last night.
Yes. So tell us all about that.
That was awesome.
I saw the picture of that. And he won. He won, right?
Yep. Yeah. Did I send you pictures for that, or did I forget to?
You did send me a picture. I think you did. Yeah, you did. And I saw your mom's post too. And if I knew how to share my screen on this app, I totally would share this. You know how, right? You figured it out.
I think so. If I can.
So tell us all about it. So this was like a competition or a.
Sorry. Yeah. So it was just like I don't know how to explain it. Just they have like exhibition cards once in a while and stuff.
Yeah.
Just different boxing clubs, and so they had a card with a bunch of amateur fights on it, and Brady was one of them, and he was fighting out of the boxing gym here, Beyond Boxing.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Toby Bernard, who from Millbrook, same age as Brady, also fought. He didn't win, but he got fight of the night. So yeah, they got like a little like watches and
oh wow
for winning fight of the night. Yeah.
And now, so they're both 17, right?
Yeah, 16.
So, yeah. 16?
Yeah.
Are they fighting other 16-year-olds, or are they like? Is it lightweight? Is it based on weight? Or
it's based on weight? Yeah, weight class. They were fighting people their age, but I know there's no age limit. Like
yeah, I knew
hypothetically,
but
that's like
it doesn't go by age. But I was imagining your brother as like if he was in. I assume he's lightweight. I would imagine, right?
Yeah, he fought at 135.
And so that's Corey calling in the middle of the show.
Nice.
Soon to be
Corey.
Soon to be no longer top fan. So I was envisioning last night or today when I saw that picture, your mom's picture, I was like thinking about like if it was done by weight class, I was picturing like I thought he was 70, but 16, 17-year-old Brady fighting like a 40-year-old.
Yeah, I think that doesn't really start happening until they hit pro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think when they're an amateur, they're still like even like I know, like they'll even like if there's like they have two fighters that are matched up and one is kind of more advanced than the other.
Yeah.
They'll usually try to find different matchups and stuff.
Well,
yeah, pretty good amateur.
I have something to say about your brother. Your brother is why people think the world's not fair. Because I didn't first meet him, but I first started hearing about him from you and your dad and your mom so this would have been 2017, 18, and say 2018.
Yeah.
I think I first met him in 2018.
But you would have met him on the ship.
Yeah, maybe there, but I wouldn't have known.
You wouldn't have known him though, but you would have met him.
But 2018, I think, is when I would have met him. So that is 6 years ago. So he was 10 years old.
That's crazy.
So in those 6 years, I have seen from the outside, I've seen him take up lacrosse and be amazing at it. I think I saw him play hockey. Maybe did I see that?
Yeah, he's a hockey goalie.
did awesome at that. And then I saw him do live theater, and he was awesome at that. I saw him bead. He was awesome at that. Everything that young man touches, he's awesome at. And he is the reason that many people in the world are like, life is not fair.
That's funny. Yeah, a lot of people don't see though. He's like an extremely hard worker.
Oh,
and
I know.
Like when he gets focused on something, like he dials in.
Yeah.
And he like fully like he like subconsciously commits to it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Like the full, like he like that fight. This kind of he was like living and breathing that fight, like training for it, eating for it, sleeping, like everything. Like watching, trying to find tapes on guy there, like watching other tapes and
Awesome.
like but he does that with everything, right? Like he and
well, even with the beating, I remember I think it was just your mom and I were upstairs. I don't think you were even there. I think it was your mom and I were chatting at their dining room table, and I had gifts for Maddie and Brady, and Brady wouldn't come up because he was in the middle of beating. So when he finally came up, it was like because he was so focused on it, I could there was not even the invitation of a present wasn't even good enough to break that. Like someone says they've got a gift for me, I'm sorry, I'm like nurturing someone and they're sick. I have a present for you, Peter. Oh, sorry, bye. And so as I see Tracy says here, it is good for him, but no fair. And there's Corey. He's joined us. Good evening, gents. I don't know if you heard the fact that when he called in the middle of the show that he lost his top dance but and hello to Carol and Charlotte. It's good to see you, Carol, on here.
Hey. Happy Easter, everyone.
Hey, Matt. It's nice to see you as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone. And
Welcome.
So
even I was gonna say, even when he was like younger, when he first started dancing, like he taught himself, right? He was super young. He was like 6, 7 years old, and just put it on the YouTube, stand in front of it, and just try to imitate them. And he just did that until he like learned how to dance, and then would go to powwows, and then like people start giving him tips and stuff. But
yeah,
even that, like he was just obsessed with it.
Like,
and a little kid.
You added yet another thing to that list because he's a phenomenal dancer, and in fact, I think when we first had him on the show in 2020, because was he not one of our very first guests?
He danced for us.
Yeah, and so he was like 12, and
yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. So congratulations to Brady, and I'm glad he did not look like he had just been in a fight too. Just to say, all those fight pictures, he didn't even look like he was sweating.
No, he works hard on his cardio too. Yeah. He didn't look bad at all.
It's so challenging.
He was a little scratched up today, but
yeah. Well, it's just challenging when there's someone who's so lovable and easy to love. At the same time, you just want to trip them. Crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
So
cool. And there was a lot of the gym out of Eskasoni too, First Nation Red Tribe Boxing.
Yeah.
They had a lot of people on the card too. And everyone, all the fights were great. Everyone did great. Worked really hard. And it was so cool to see like half the card, it seemed like there was like a native person, like a native youth fighting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. And they drove down to Truro, right? The fights were in Truro, so they're there till late while I'm staying.
It's funny you say hard work, right? Because I think it's so easy to forget in life that hard work pays off. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose, or you're successful or unsuccessful in whatever it is that you're working towards in the moment, because you get so much out of the hard work, the lessons, the experience, the greater insight, the greater skill. The winning or losing isn't relevant. It's the process of hard work. And even Mance, who's I imagine you're still kicking around, Mance, he's this beautifully gifted artist, right? And I don't know if it has continued, but up until certainly last year, he painted new pieces of art every single day.
That's wild.
For a very long time. And it is that persistence and the continuity of doing something. And And people, I think, who struggle with their lives and they're like, this isn't happening for me, this isn't happening. And even myself, in times where I've been in that space, it's because I'm not working hard at and I may lie to myself and say I am. And I can tell I'm lying because I'll say things like, I'm trying to eat better. And then I got to stop myself and be like, are you really trying? No, you're not trying. You think you're trying, but you're not. And even with like work stuff, when I'm behind on stuff, or I'm trying to get this done, no, I'm not, because I'm not working hard on that specific task, right? Like I am allowing myself to be distracted. I am opening myself up for other paths. Like I'm tired of this and it's not doing what I want to do. So I'm more susceptible to do a different task. And at the end of the day, it's just an absence of like that hard work piece. And so Brady and all those other boxes last night, it was all about hard work, right? And just a reminder, hopefully to everyone in the audience, that this is what hard work allows us to do, right? Win or lose, like it gets us in the ring. Hard work will always get us in the ring.
Like everybody that was in that ring, like the winners and losers, they were all celebrated, right? Like people were cheering for everyone.
Exactly.
And, like people were just happy to see the fights and see good fights and see people compete. And...
Talking about fights, have you seen the new Roadhouse movie?
No, I heard it's amazing though. I heard Conor McGregor kills it.
He did very well.
He did all his stunts and everything too.
Shocking.
Were they crazy?
It was funny. Someone asked me.
I didn't watch the original.
Oh, well, probably a little before your time. And so my advice is watch the new one and then the first one following it, because the first one with Patrick Swayze was a classic sort of fight film, right? It was pretty good. It was cheesy, like of the era, but so was this one to some extent. It was one of those things that that movie was like, the new one was really good. And the reason I was reminded of it is the scenes at the UFC. I heard Jake Gyllenhaal on a podcast talking about how they filmed it. And when he went into the UFC, they didn't know that he was actually they didn't know it was Jake Gyllenhaal fighting. He went right into the actual octagon in Vegas on a card night, like when there was the full.
And they just shot it like there.
They shot it there. That's like cool. This. Yeah, like it was. So they I think people that were led to believe it was like promotions and stuff like that. So yeah,
that's cool. That's super smart of UFC.
Yeah. So, and thank you so much, Patsy. It's nice to see you here tonight. Lovely.
Juliet.
Yeah. So either way, it was worth watching. Certainly. It was an entertainment, right? It was entertaining.
Jake, fun movie.
I would be shocked if they didn't do a sequel to it.
Was there a sequel to the original?
No. And it wasn't a sequel to the movie. This one, though, that character, I think, allows him to make his way into another one. So before we go too much further, I want to talk about Easter. And I want to dig in your little head and heart and ask you questions about childhood Easters and versus adult Easters. But I do want to talk about this very cool thing that came out from the Tegan. Do you know who Tegan and Sarah are, the artists? Tegan and Sarah?
No.
So Tegan and Sarah are sisters. They are Alberta originally, I think, but have become prominent all over the world. In a nutshell, they've been around for 20 years, 10 studio albums, more than 1 million records sold, and they've been using their music as a medium for storytelling forever. Multiple Junos, Governor General's Performing Arts Award, honorary doctorate of laws from the University of Calgary, which is interesting to what we're about to talk about. New York Civil Liberties Award, Grammy, GLAAD, Polaris Prize nominations. And they've been super proud, of course, of their music, but they're really, as they talk about, their crowning achievement is the Tegan and Sarah Foundation. And from that work, actually, just in Halifax a couple of weeks ago, right, with the Junos, at that Junos in Halifax, they were presented the humanitarian award in their recognition for work with the LGBTQ plus community. And I believe they both identify as queer, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they both identify as lesbian. And their foundation and their board wrote a letter that they released for International Trans Day of visibility, which I believe is today, and it might have been yesterday.
Cool.
I apologize for not knowing the exact day, but yesterday or today. But anyways, they and 400 other Canadian artists signed this letter, and I just want to read the letter out if that's all right, because I think it's important. I think it matters. And yeah, are you good with that? Are you okay if I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so they write, and it's Artists Against Anti-Trans Legislation in Canada. And again, as I said, 400 signatures. Folks like Alanis Morissette, Neil Young, Sarah McLachlan, Carly Rae Jepsen, Elvis Costello, Elliot Page, Katie Lang, City and Color, Anne Murray, Feist, Diane Krall, Fred Penner, the Arkells, Jen Arden, Mother, Alan Doyle, Alexis on Fire, Biff Naked. I'm looking for other names that I recognize. Jim Cuddy, Rufus Wainwright, Sarah Harmer, Serena Ryder, Sharon and Brahm, the two left people of that group, the Strombellas, and literally hundreds and hundreds of others. And so they've signed this letter, and it goes as such. We all deserve the freedom to be ourselves, to be safe, and treated with dignity. 2S LGBTQIA plus people are our friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers. But far-right groups are tapping into fear and pitting us against each other so that they can create a Canada where we're afraid of difference. Right now, they're using trans people as their punching bag, but the truth is that this community is their convenient scapegoat. Their agenda is the same as it's been always, for people in power to retain power at the expense of the most marginalized among us. For those outside Canada, this country often seen as a human rights haven. However, the reality is that Canada is not immune to the global attack on the trans community and their access to inclusive spaces, healthcare, and freedoms. In Alberta, Premier Danielle Smith has targeted transgender youth with proposed bans on hormonal treatment, purity blockers, and gender confirmation ceremony. Months before, New Brunswick and Saskatchewan announced that they will require parental consent before schools can honor the chosen names and pronouns of gender-diverse children under 16. Everyone deserves access to crucial healthcare services that affirm them. Anyone holding a historically excluded identity knows what it's like to be treated differently because of who they are. The anti-trans policies taking root in Canada go beyond discrimination. They present a clear risk to the mental and physical well-being of trans individuals throughout the country. As artists, we know the danger of a social and political environment that restricts expression, exploration, individuality, and self-determination. We want to keep living in a world that celebrates the beauty of difference because difference and art go hand in hand. We also believe in the power of using our voices for those who aren't being heard. We, the undersigned artists from Canada, stand against these alarming and destructive policies and call on the general public to turn their attention to a growing problem in our country. The government should never put themselves between parents, their kids, and evidence-based healthcare and supports. We are trending towards more harmful anti-trans legislation in Canada, and we call on our communities and local and national policymakers to put a stop to this concerning surge in anti-trans policy. I read that letter earlier today, and I was just blown away, partly by the courage, because on Twitter I've already seen the vitriol come out at them, right? And a lot of it from Alberta, because they did name Danielle Smith, right? And your mom is right. This is Mello here. They are doing amazing things, and at the end of the day, I just want to lift them up for speaking out, because the reality is that when they write about that right-wing movement that's trying to create divide, that's exactly what it is. And trans kids are simply their leverage point to be able to create harm in greater ways. And so I would just encourage folks to keep their minds open and read what the research tells us, read what science is telling us. And here's the fun fact: you don't even have to like it. You just don't have to stand up against kids and their well-being. And that's what I think people on social media just don't understand. And it's so important we stand with our young people. And so come around this way. So we've got a special guest here, in fact, for our Easter show. And a reminder, you got to crouch down a little bit, as you can see.
Hey, happy Easter.
Hi there.
So, Daniel, you remember Brennan?
No.
No. Did you guys not meet when you were here, Brennan?
We probably met like twice.
Yeah. Oh, you know where? You were here for the
unicorn party.
Yes.
Brennan was here at the
party. Wait, there was a unicorn party?
There was the water balloons.
A couple years ago.
Yes.
A year or two ago?
No, 6 months ago.
Really?
Yes, it was 6 months ago.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we went for a nice long walk today with his Cookum and Nana, and Sean and I went for a walk in the woods. Then we came back. What did we watch today?
Wonka.
And
was it good?
No.
So this, I was just going to say, this is a great example of opening our minds, right? Earlier in the day, I said, I want to watch Wonka. He said,
no.
He said, it's going to
be terrible.
Then, not even 10 minutes in, what did you say?
This is terrible.
You did not say that.
Spaghetti.
Now he's just telling the story.
It's a spaghetti on a screen.
It does say spaghetti on the screen because we're going to talk about Beyonce's new album.
Her album's named Spaghetti?
And there's a song called Spaghetti.
Oh.
All right. Anyways, happy
That's
Easter.
Funny.
What do you want to say to people?
The Wonka movie is terrible. Don't watch it.
He's totally right. I swear. 10 minutes in, he was like, this is actually good. I'm sorry.
No.
All right. Adios. I will see you in a bit.
Okay. Bye, Peter.
Bye. He was
show you in VR.
He was totally fibbing, just for the record. And he liked it right through to the end. He's coming back now. Now he's coming back. Well, he's gonna fight this, so.
No.
Maybe we can get him in the boxing ring with Brady.
Oh man.
His little brother who won his first public boxing match last night.
First amateur fight.
Is it against the rules to shoot someone?
In boxing?
Yeah.
Yes, it is certainly against the rules. All right. All right.
Oh, easy win.
So either way, Tegan and Sarah, lift our hands up, because then those are the reasons, right? We've got to stand with young people there. And at the end of the day, it is you don't have to agree with everything. Just don't stand in the way and cause harm.
You don't even have to understand it.
Yeah. And if you want to, there's lots of ways you can learn about it. But it's just, we've gotten to this place where we think it's okay because we have a different opinion to be hurtful and cause harm, with either our words or our actions, or in Danielle Smith and other leaders, our legislation. And what it did, that letter came out, and the vitriol against those two women has been insane. And all of them, really, all the celebrities, name calling and shouting. I'm just gonna go close that door for a sec. But yeah, it was just a lot, right? It was, and I think there's just something wrong with that. There's something wrong with people not thinking it's okay to call two women on Twitter dykes because you disagree with them. And there's just no space for that. And sadly, that right-wing movement, supported by a lot of just the way we allow and we accept that people talk, whether it's on podcasts or on social media or wherever the case may be, right? And where those things become funny. And I don't know, where I said it just won't ever become funny. It just can't be. So I'm just going to close the door. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And the biggest thing that like I don't understand is like why people feel the need to go out of their way to do that stuff. It's like first of all, it's not hurting you. Like someone, the way someone lives, generally 99.9% of the time is not going to affect you or hurt you in any way. And the fact that you feel the need to commit time and energy to the act of belittling someone because for whatever reason, it could be a million different reasons for everyone, but it bothers you, it makes you uncomfortable, and to deal with that energy, you choose to just like berate someone and belittle them online and with behind the safety of a screen. And it's just I just don't understand it. It's
No,
just so hateful.
it is, and so often just anchored in incorrect information. Like I just
Mm.
pulled up the Twitter account here. This being against gay conversion therapy is not anti-trans. You're actually hurting more than helping. But that's not what this is. This isn't gay, like doctors working with people on their path is not gay conversion therapy. Like like that's not what it is. Like it's like it is literally just um like
And
I,
is this conversation? Sorry, I'm a little ignorant around everything going on right now. Is this stemming from like something around um, like shock therapy and stuff that I see someone
no,
with shock therapy?
this is basically the premise around. So it started in New Brunswick with
Mm-hmm.
um and it had nothing to do with kids. It had to do with a New Brunswick premier who was at risk politically.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started that way in the States, really, right? So it started with the Don't Say Gay bill, right, in Florida, that
Oh,
DeSantis put
okay.
out, right? And it started, and it probably didn't even start there, but that's where it got big.
Mm-hmm.
And then in New Brunswick, the premier was facing political challenges. And so randomly, out of the blue, came out this anti-trans kid policy saying kids couldn't determine how they wanted to identify without parental consent. So if a kid wanted to be identified as they, them at school, the school had to get the parents' permission. And the reality is that there are going to be some families where that kid would never be able to get that permission. And not only that, but the harm there could be serious harm caused to that child.
Yeah.
And so at school, it became a safe place for a long time for kids who are either trans or diverse, gender diverse, or just trying to flush out where they were at, right? And who they were. And so so that was really the start of it. It was schools taking away students' rights to be able to identify for themselves who they are without the parental consent. And it wasn't changing records. Like kids weren't changing their names and identities on legal documents. They weren't doing it. Was just how they were referenced in school. And so that caught on. Saskatchewan joined up, and this led to, and I think I maybe told you, we went to that rally. There was a rally here in Kingston,
Mm-hmm.
and there was whatever 150 people with these horrific signs telling trans kids that they were sick and calling gay adults, gay and lesbians, perverts and recruiters and pedophiles, and I watched people who I love and care about just get name called publicly. Like it was insanity, right? Like,
I can't believe
and
people still think like that. It's so crazy.
yeah, so it is an interesting. So the point being overall is that at the end of the day, governments need to hear from folks. And I'm very, very proud of Tegan and Sarah. They would have known the outcome, and even this, and all 400 signatories. And it was, and they're going to face flack. And certainly it is, yeah, it is at the end of the day, like, yeah. I like this one. I wonder how much money the WEF has dumped into this foundation. Like the tweets are just too much, right? Like it's just like literally people who sit around the internet and listen to podcasts around the world and are just nuts. So either way, I wanted just to put that out there. It doesn't seem very Easterly to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely not at
It,
all.
it doesn't seem Easterly. I watched someone today, and again, I tried not to go down Twitter rabbit holes, but someone said, I think it was the RCMP, said something about the spring holiday celebration, whatever, however they referenced it. They didn't say the word Easter, right? Like, because a large portion of the country isn't Christian, and the origins of Easter, right, are a Christian holiday. And so I think it was the military and the RCMP put out a joint thing, and it might not even have been real for all I know, but it basically said something about like happy spring holiday to our member, whatever. And people went nuts. Like, you can't say, like, so the idea that someone is, and again, I say Easter and stuff, and I have no connection to the holiday from a religious perspective in any way. I think when we were kids, we went once to church on Easter, like, and it was like a one and done kind of experience for the family.
Like your parents were just like, "Oh, this ain't for me."
Yeah, not for us. Again, like
everyone was too bored.
Because I think the premise was that it's because I think it's it is the highest Christian holiday, I think, of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right. Because the Christ rises again out of the tomb. Yeah,
I think it was either way. And you know what? All the power to folks. All of my Christian friends across the country, all the power. Like it is like, yeah. The point being is that it is also, though, insert many other things. Like, it's currently Ramadan, right? So there's people who are praying and recognizing and feasting each night, right? When they break fast. There is the equinox that just occurred, right? Like, there's all of the folks who follow that. For us, as certainly as myself as an Anishinaabe person, it's spring, right? It's this new season. The grandmothers here are holding a ceremony next weekend.
Cool.
As Sweetwater starts to come, right, and we celebrate and honor and have
Sweetwater.
Yeah, so the maple trees, right? The Sweetwater comes out.
Oh, right. Cool.
And so it is there's all these things, right? There's all these things that people celebrate, and I think the difficulty is that it is this for like what I think of Easter. The difficulty is that it's really now about rabbits and
eggs,
yeah, which again, still don't get. Like, growing up, I assumed rabbits laid eggs. Just for the record.
That's hilarious.
Thanks, Easter. Thanks for making me a dum-dum.
At least you didn't think they were like big like the Easter bunny.
I did convince my grandson this weekend, though, so we did a little Easter egg hunt, right? Because we went with it as well, right? That commercialization fully of it.
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
And I put together these little eggs, right? And they all had some had jelly beans, some had chocolates, and we made a little thing in their yard. And so he was very excited, like vibrating excited because the Easter bunny was there. But when I was laying out one of the eggs, it had opened and a bunch of like the chocolate eggs had fallen out, but they were like those. What are the very popular ones? They sell them all year round. I think I don't know what it is. It's
Cadbury cream eggs.
No, like a little chocolate one, but they're all different colors, pink and yellow and stuff. Anyways, they fell out. And so then he's going and finding all the eggs and so excited every time he finds one. He's like, oh, and into his basket. And then he sees these 4 or 5 eggs and he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, no, that was Easter bunny poop. The grass.
That's funny.
I love lying to 3-year-olds.
Jeez.
Yeah. So when you were little, what was Easter like when you were little?
It was like the same thing, just excited to wake up and look for eggs and eat chocolate. And I was always excited to just go to my Gaju's and hang out with everyone. And we used to, my Gaju used to do like an egg hunt.
Yeah.
So we'd go. She's got a bigger house and big yard back there, and so we'd go get someone to hide eggs like through just trees, bushes, and all throughout outside, and then send us out and just find them. It was always really fun.
I think we did one big egg hunt here at this house, because it's 4 acres, and so we did one. I don't remember, and lots of friends and kids came and stuff. But when I was young, I remember sort of. I think Easter became. My parents weren't big candy people, right? They weren't big give kids a pile of candy. Even Halloween, like we were not going out with sleep pillowcases. We had like an AMP bag, and that was that, right? Like, it wasn't. There was never yeah. And in fairness, I would be of the same mindset. I think, like it's you don't need a pillowcase filled with candy.
But then you can pick on it all year.
It does not.
And then by the time Halloween comes around the next year, you're at the last couple, and they're a little stale, but it's still good.
It doesn't last a year. No way, Jose. So and so with Easter, we used to get like summer presents, or things that you needed for springtime. Like I think so we got candy, and I think my brother was watching a bit ago. I know he still is, but maybe he can correct me if I'm wrong. But the that is kind of the memory I have is the it is like we got candy. I remember jelly beans. Like I remember having jelly beans. That was when I was a kid, the Easter candy, I think. More than anything, which is funny because now you don't see jelly beans around very much. Like in my search.
I got jelly beans today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. What flavor?
I don't know. It's just like a pack.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to like jelly beans. I think they were probably, I would eat them over chocolate, like those, like the Easter chocolate at least. And
sure.
But that said, that was, I remember
jelly beans and
tennis rackets.
Oh, nice.
And I think I might have gotten a bike once, maybe. Like I think, or my brother got a bike, or we both got bikes, or something. Like I just remember Easter was a time when you got the presents for summery time, springtime stuff. I got a really great jacket, I think, one Easter.
Nice.
Like yeah. So
yeah, I remember getting like bubbles and like frisbees, like stuff you play with outside. Those just like those wiffle balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and when my parents first started working, I started getting bikes for Easter.
Yeah, like it's a good.
That was sweet.
Yeah, it is.
They'd always get stolen though. There was like a string of like a few years growing up where I'd get a bike for Easter, and then it would get stolen. Then I get a new bike the next year.
Oh my goodness!
It's always my cousin stealing them. Usually, most likely.
Tyler says, well done. I think that's in reference to Brody, I think there. Jaylene, totally agree with your mom on the candy. Yeah, totally. And I too, like, I don't think kids need that much candy. Like I got the kids more stuff this year, more like more things than I got Everett a bunch of clothes, and Aaliyah I got some nice stuff that I haven't heard yet, so I won't say it on TV yet. But or on the show today. But Daniel as well, like a smudge kit and a t-shirt and candy, of course, but not tons. Because again, I'm not sure kids. I don't think any kid needs that much candy. Charlotte, though, Charlotte says I like black jelly beans, and they're my favorite.
I like black jelly beans.
Me too. Black and green are my favorite jelly beans. Those are my favorite.
I like those stuff. Yeah.
And Tracy, let's see. Tracy got skipping ropes, Easter bonnet.
Yeah, Easter bonnet.
Oh,
holy. Here's Michael Jackson poster, deadly.
Yeah. I got a special gift this year for Christmas is that Tracy dropped off.
You got a bonnet?
I did not get a bonnet from Tracy, so it's kind of selfish of her, but she did bring over some lovely treats tonight. So
nice.
And when the show is done, I'm going to have a few cookies.
Oh, deadly. I remember once I became like a teenager, I started getting like Men's Health magazines and deodorant.
Yeah.
Body wash and shampoo for Easter.
They just thought you were stinky.
Yeah, I went from bikes to shower.
Yeah. So, but that is, I think it's interesting when I think about Easter, because the one thing that I think about lots on Saturday, there was a march here in town around Gaza. And I walked for just a block or so, or I was doing other things, and I saw them come, and I joined two friends of mine, and I walked down with them for a bit. And I think when I think about Easter this weekend, I've been thinking lots about Gaza. I've been thinking about peace, and the absence of peace in this world. And from Gaza to Alberta to Syria to Central America to Haiti, like I have faith that things can shift in the world, but we have to be shifting as individuals, I think, right? Like, people are like, well, it doesn't matter because how are we supposed to stop whatever, right? Or I feel powerless, I can't do anything. But if we just change the way we behave with each other, if we're kind and thoughtful, if we keep our negative thoughts inside, like, I'm very sassy in my head. Like, I am very sassy in my head, but I'll keep it in my head because it's not needed in the world, right? Like, and if we can do those things, I believe strongly that if we shift how we behave, those shifts are going to be felt around the world, because the we collectively, right? Like, all of us, like, being thoughtful. Like, today, it was a very big day for Christians, right? It was a significant day, and I lift up those folks of faith, right? Who that's their practice, and like I would any other sort of faith in those spaces and places, and I have actually been to church at Easter, like as an adult as well, with friends, and it was long, and I did not enjoy the standing repetitively, but but at the end of the day, we just have to open our minds and our hearts, right? And I think that's what's not happening with Gaza, right? We're not opening our minds and our hearts to this idea that I'm so grossed out by this movement that is suggesting that folks who are calling for a ceasefire and calling for the end of the murder of children and women and men who are not affiliated and not active in the military, calling it for what it is and calling for aid to go into Gaza, that's not called pro-Hamas. And in that narrative, it's being framed that way. Like, Hamas, I do not recognize them as a government. It doesn't matter either whether I did or didn't. Here's a fun fact, because I don't live there. But the reality is that it is, we have to open our hearts, and we have to open our minds, and we have to be loud in our messaging that what's happening in Gaza is completely unacceptable. And history will frame it that way eventually. Like, and I fear for Israelis because I fear for the tarnish that their government is putting on them as individuals. And because although I know there are certainly people in Israel, individuals who support the government's actions, I know there are many, many, many who don't, and who have to watch as this massacre occurs in their name, and they do not want that to be so. And it's why it is so important for, at some point sooner than later, for the leaders who are in those spaces in Israel and Hamas, maybe even in Palestine as well, like those folks, you haven't been successful. It's time for you to move on. Your hard work hasn't worked, because you've not worked hard at building peace or addressing this. And I don't know. I think we just forget sometimes that our hearts have to be open. And even if I don't like you or like your politics and all those folks and yahoos on Twitter, I may not like them, but I have no desire for them or their families to have harm caused upon them. Like, you can be a yahoo all you want. I don't want, like, even when during COVID, right, when people were like, not like when someone who was like anti-vaccine or anti-mask got COVID, people were like, no, we can't live like that. I don't know. There's my rant.
Yeah, no, we definitely it's just too toxic of a way to live, to just want company as misery. I guess misery. What is it? What's that saying? Misery want
Yeah,
the best
misery.
company.
Yeah, once company needs company.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I think people are. It's really easy to justify poor behavior, and it's really easy to justify when we feel really shitty, because then it just means that we're dealing with that right there without having to do extra work to justify it, right? Or to address it. But
Totally.
yeah, it's just like that. Oh man, I don't even know where I'm going with this. It's just so frustrating to see, and you see it all the time, everywhere. And I always talk with a lot of my friends online. That was like we grew up in like the Xbox Live era,
Yeah.
of like video gaming coming up, and just like vicious people talked back in the day and stuff. And like I honestly don't feel like it's on any different. Like I feel like people are just as bad today, but we're just so connected. And like you said, I think that's even more of the reason to try to focus on treating everyone around us good and ourselves, so that we can treat others good. Because like the more that technology advances, the more that culture and like pop culture advances, and like it's just we're just getting more and more connected. And so it's like that much more important that we also address all that other stuff with that connection. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, I'm just ranting.
No, and part of it is that we need to be also centering ourselves on the good and the beauty and the riches of the world, which is hard when we're seeing all of this chaos and hurt. But I think those are the times we have to search it out even more. Like, and Twitter, again, as I said on this lots of times, it makes my head explode. I don't know why I go on it, but then I'm reminded why I go on it. And so I made a little video because I found a fellow named Craig Baird, and Craig has been bringing Canadian history to people. That's his full-time job through his podcast, Canadian History X. I don't know how to pronounce it. He says it like A with an X at the end, and so the podcast is really, really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It is here we go. There's this fella here. This is him here, and I've invited him on the show because I really kind of dig how he has been sharing history of this country. And so I made a little video of one of his things that came out this week that I just howled at, and it's exactly why I need to be on Twitter still, because you get to have these great, for all the junk and crap, you get to have these great sort of moments. So I want to share with folks this little video that Craig and Craig didn't put it. He put up the images. He's the creator of it. He uses AI to help tell Canada's history.
Interesting.
So yeah. So we're gonna go.
That's funny.
Yeah,
it's not what I was expecting. That's hilarious.
Like, so let's see if this will hold on. I'm gonna shut this on mute. I want to just bring it back. So this is the and I didn't realize that our logo would block the top there, but the so he uses AI, right, to generate these really cool images all the different times. So this one he used rabbits, and I don't even know how to use AI like this. Like, so first of all, I have a lot of respect for anyone who can use AI. There's the like, so it's basically each province represented and territory represented by Easter bunnies. Like, and there's the Yukon. I was a little confused by a couple of them. Like this BC one, I don't know. Like, I didn't.
There's mountains.
Mountains.
It looks like BC.
Yeah, and little scholarly maybe, or like trendy.
Gentrified Vancouver.
Yeah, and then there's Alberta. That one makes sense, right? Yeah. And Saskatchewan. That's
pretty on brand.
This one though, like, what is the Manitoba? Like,
why would they do Manitoba like that?
Like, what a dislike. Poor
He looks scary.
He does look scary. He's like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. Like you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you, he's saying. And let's see, where do we have? Okay.
Creepy.
All right, and Ontario, and like totally bougie Ontario, right? Like,
yeah, that's on the lake.
Yeah, totally. On the
people
lake.
with the summer homes.
Yeah.
On the jet skis or whatever they're called.
Yeah. I am in Quebec, and
Quebec.
I am just having my tea.
I am speaking my French, and
yeah. I just thought this was delightful, though. It is, but I didn't get this one either. New Brunswick. Is New Brunswick known for like hiking?
I guess so.
I didn't know.
I didn't think that. Is New Brunswick on the water like that?
Well, there's.
Yeah, there's parts of New Brunswick, yeah, that are on the coast.
Yeah, and but this I would have thought was BC, honestly. Maybe there's no mountains, so but either way, that one confused me. The New Brunswick one. Here's Nova. Oh, there's Brennan right there. Look at Brennan. Brennan Bunny catching the fish.
And storm's coming in too. Holy, tough.
Well, that's because Brennan Bunny is very brave.
Yeah.
Brave bunny Brennan. There's PEI
on the beach
on the red island, the red soil and stuff, right? So there you go.
Biking around because the island's not big.
And then Newfoundland.
Yeah, that one I died. I was like, oh yeah, there you go, Newfoundland.
A little bit of just a little bit of beer, just lounging.
Although he should have did one for Newfoundland and then one for Labrador.
Yes, I think so too. I can certainly see that. And this is his information here. There is his website again on the bottom. It is it's really quite enjoyable. I've really liked it. I like following him. I have invited him to come on the show. Do you know what's funny? So I send out probably 3 emails a week for potential guests.
Mm-hmm.
And to people we don't know. Like, so lots of times people come and visit us on Sunday nights are folks we know. And I'm very grateful for that. And then sometimes I'll see those kind of cool things and I'll send them out. We never hear back. Never, ever. Like, I am very...
Oh, no. Is it me? Did I crash? Am I crashing? Is my PC crashing? Bruh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Like this. If you can still hear me, please comment. I'll call Peter. Oh yeah, I am so sorry, everybody. Yeah, Peter blew a fuse back home, so we are gonna have to end the show early tonight. But yeah, we'll pick it back up next Sunday. We'll see you guys here, same place, same time. Walio for joining us tonight. Sonoma, I hope everyone had an amazing Easter. Had a good long weekend. Hope you guys most of you guys have work off tomorrow. Chill out, enjoy your treats and tea, and we'll see you guys here again next week. Wow, Sonoma on Waltus.
Go. Hello again. Hello again. Look at all those patient people. Look at all those patient people. Holy cow. Brennan, you know what? We have the best friends who come and hang out on Sunday nights of all time.
100%. 100%.
Oh, are you there, Brennan?
Yeah. Oh, no. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, now I can.
Oh.
So it just went dark in the whole house, and I assumed the power was out, but it was just this section of the house. So, and I was just saying to Brennan that this week I got a email from the Hydro Kingston, our utility, whatever my hydro provider is, and said, and we're like 9 days into the billing cycle, and it said, at this rate, your projected bill will be 91% higher than normal. And I'm like, what? So I have no idea what is sucking. Something in the house is sucking energy. And so this morning I spent time looking online to try to figure it out. And I thought it might be my computer because the fan has been running like forever on this computer. But it was shut off for the last 4 days. And that was when I got the text. Like, it's been shut off since Thursday. And then the other part, and then I found in my little one app, it retells me the power usage, and the power usage is at the absolute normal. So, and interestingly, so is the heat, but the fan is still running. But either way, so the one thing I saw today is to unplug everything and then replug it in, because some things will have so everything on this, and because that fuse went out, now we know that tomorrow we'll just have to unplug everything in every room, and then you can plug it back in, and sometimes it just resets whatever it is that's sucking juice. So needless to say, Charlotte Clark, you're amazing too. And it is thank you to those who stuck around there, both on YouTube and on Facebook. It is 8:08. Shall we say goodnight, Mr. Guru?
Yeah, I already said goodnight, but yeah, see you again.
So we'll say one more time, and I think next Sunday I'm going to work very hard to get some guests to join us who we know and talk about a big project that we're trying to bring to life, and it's super exciting, and we don't know if it'll work or if it won't work, but we're just working hard to make it work. And next weekend we will talk more about it. And as well, next weekend we're very excited to we have all of the recommendations done now from the Atlantic youth, so we're getting very close to being able to share that. And we've talked with some of those young folks, and they're willing to join us on the show and share their recommendations, and so we can get to introduce them to folks all over the country. So, yeah.
Nice.
So, and pardon me?
Said you love to see it.
Totally. Like, it is just magic. Those young people are totally amazing. So wherever you are this weekend, Val, do you have any last words there?
Oh, just thanks everyone for joining, Wallen, and thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, totally. For 4 years. Thanks for sticking with us for 4 years. And it is 4 years this week. It was April.
Oh, what?
And it's like, I think it was in March. That was mid-March is when you and Alashua joined us, joined me. And then 2 weeks later, you and I started this little adventure. And so it is our anniversary, and we will accept cake delivered both to Brennan's and mine. Peanut free, of course. Not free. Free cake.
Not free facility.
Yes, maybe Twinkies.
Twinkies are good.
Yeah, Brennan likes Twinkies, just so you know. So if you want his address, let me know, and I will give it to you. So you want to send Brennan Twinkies. But friends, hopefully you've had a lovely weekend. You're off tomorrow, Brennan?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And I am looking forward to a 4th day off, and I am super just grateful for Brennan and everyone who comes and hangs out with us every Sunday night. And I'm going to go and play some VR with
Leslie.
and he will butcher me in whatever activity we're doing. And I normally just end up stuck in a corner. And yeah, and until next Sunday, my friends, just remember how much you matter in this world. And here's a fun secret: even if you're one of those turkeys on YouTube or Twitter and who just talk trash, the reality is that we know that you're struggling, and it doesn't change the fact that you matter. Like, I don't have to agree with you. I don't even have to like you to know that you matter in this world and that you are important and that you do belong. And my only encouragement is to, if you can just know those things, at least maybe you'll find a way or a path to not be hurtful. And because we just don't need hurtful in this world. There is enough of it. And so this week, just try to practice kindness to yourself and others. And until next Sunday, we will see you soon. So thank you, Brennan, for holding on the electricity out. And until then, we will see everyone next week. Bye, my Pete.
Multis.